Gibson. Look at you, Dolce. Dolce. Gee. Hey y'all, that is Dolce, the black female. She's very dominant. Cane Corso, 1-year-old puppy Lucia there, and then the Pitbull puppy. So they're, I think it's interesting because, well, first of all, I gotta watch them very closely when they're, I guess you could say, quote unquote, play fighting over this chew toy. Well, what I've noticed is that, and before I say that, this can become very dangerous if one dog becomes more possessive than the other, and they so-called start resource guarding. And if they're both fighting over this chew toy or a high value treat, then it could lead to a fight. Well, what I noticed with Dolce is she wouldn't take it completely from Lucia here. She would kind of keep it in her mouth and then just let Lucia, she would wait till Lucia takes it again. It's almost as if she wants Lucia to put up a challenge for her. And so I thought that was interesting. And check that out. She dropped it. She left it for Lucia. So I posted a video not too long ago where I really had to correct Dolce for getting too intense over a similar chew toy, where I was actually kind of worried it was going to become a fight. And so I just had to take it away from both of them. I actually ended up giving it to Ozzy, and someone commented and said, "Why did you take it away from Dolce and give it back to Lucia?" Well, it wasn't Lucia that I gave it back to. It was actually Ozzy. It's just that Lucia is such a big puppy that she looks almost like Ozzy. Ozzy is the alpha male. He's huge. So yeah, what I did in that scenario is I just took it out. I just took it away from both of them. Dim the lights here for a minute. There's Tux. Tux is the Pitbull mix, if you're new to the channel. He's a very sweet dog. I see Papa. Their eyes are looking blue, reflecting from the light. But yeah, y'all, so I do let them play with chew toys, but I have to monitor it, because if I don't, it can lead to, has the potential to lead to a real fight. But see how this Pitbull puppy and Cane Corso puppy are, they're not resource guarding. They're not, putting up a fight over this chew toy. And so that's part of why I still let them play with something like this, is because my pack has a very good energy to it. And I'm letting them kind of be, desensitized to a high value item like this in the circulation. Similar to, I mentioned this on my last video. And the whole idea is similar to this. So, and pardon the mess in the house. It was just super muddy outside, so I got to clean this weekend. But see how there is food, kibble, in everybody's bowl. So they were just nibbling at this. But I know some dogs, if the owner puts kibble in the bowl, they'll scarf it down. The dog will scarf it down and not leave anything in the bowl. But my theory is that since they know there's always food available, they don't feel the need to quickly consume it all at once for fear of not having any more, or not knowing when they're going to be fed again, that sort of thing. So I don't like restrict high value items all the time. I give it to them sparingly, but when I give it to them, they don't feel the need to fight over it, and to guard it or anything like that. That's my theory. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. But again, I have to keep a close eye just in case it becomes an issue and develops into a fight. Really, the only one I worry about is Dolce. And as you can see, she's becoming less and less possessive over items like this. I still can't let my guard down. Got to watch her like a hawk, just in case. But yeah, case in point here is two very dominant breeds, amicably, kind of more or less sharing and not becoming possessive. Isn't that sweet? These two are best buds. But I have seen Gypsy, the pit bull here. I have seen where she wants to have possession of whatever high value item it is, and she'll put up a light growl when she really wants to own it or to have it. And Lucia tries to take it from her, but she never fights very hard for it. She'll eventually release it to Lucia, who overpowers her. It might be a different story once the pit bull puppy becomes full grown and more powerful. Pit bulls are so tenacious, man. Even if up against a larger dog breed, they're really a challenge. So. But my goal is to try and get them to, at a young age, get used to having something like this of high value, and kind of share it more or less, not have to fight over it. And if I do see the energy becoming more intense, then I just remove it. I completely remove it from them. And in that way, that's the feedback to them that if they become like that, then they're not going to get it. No one's going to get it. So yeah. Also, for puppies, I've mentioned this a couple times, but super important. And the way that I have trained my puppies not to be resource guarding, not to be food aggressive, treat aggressive, is I put my hand in the mix when they're puppies. I wouldn't do it to an adult dog that hasn't been trained like this, but yeah, I will when they're eating and they're young puppies. I purposefully will put my hand in the food bowl next to them while they're eating. Yes, my baby girl. And, you know, I'll pet them while they're chewing stuff. I'll pretend like I'm going to grab it. And if they give any kind of body language or growl at me, immediately I will remove the item and flip them over on their back with their belly showing or on their side, and then hold them down on the shoulder, or do like the so-called mouth bite. Not too hard, but just hold your hand like that. And that's called, you know, putting them in submissive position or submissive posture. I gotta clean her ear. So, yeah, that's just a little bit about that. Very important as part of their training. But yeah, this is good. Now see how she's gonna start? She's gonna start. See, they're basically sharing this. And they a lot of times they just seem to make it a game. Lucia will kind of try and take it from her, but they do it playfully, not intensely. They're not too serious over it. So that's what I do. And then again, every dog is different. This might not hold true, might not work for every pack, you know, or every 2 dogs. It might not work. Because Lucia is very, she's a chill Corso. She'll turn it on and the intensity when she needs to be protective. But she's overall a very moderate level energy kind of Corso. So that's part of why it works with these two. And same for Gypsy being a pit bull. She's still every bit a pit bull and extremely intense when she needs to be or when she wants to be. But she's also not as dominant as other pit bulls that I've had, you know, so that's part of how it works too. But Dolce there, the one in the beginning of the video that you saw, she is extremely intense. The intensity that she has almost 24/7 is close to that of a pit bull. And she's extremely tenacious and dominant as well. So I call that a win. That what you saw in the beginning of the video. She released the chew toy in the end, and then she gave a little light growl, but it was you know your dog's barks and you know your dog's growls, you know the slight differences in them, and that was, to me, that was a playful growl. I know, like I said in that previous video, when she was becoming too intense, and that's when I stepped in and took it away from her and put her in submissive posture. So look at these two. Aren't they the cutest? 2 peas in a pod. They are just the cutest, y'all. Gypsy. Well, it's about 9 o'clock at night on a Thursday. So the dogs have wound down. They've already done their playing. I actually just gave little Gypsy a bath, because there are just puddles of mud outside, and they have a doggy door. You can see all the mud on these covers, furniture. I got these removable covers all over the furniture and the dog beds, so I'm gonna wash this weekend. But yeah, so Gypsy, when I came home from work, Gypsy was just covered with dried, stuck-on mud all over her. So I just gave her a bath, and the dogs did their sparring sessions already and got really good exercise, and so they're winding down. You see Ozzy's down for the count. Ozzy. Anyway, I hope you're having a good night. I gotta get to bed. Gotta get up early in the morning. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing if you already have. If you haven't, really appreciate it if you subscribe so that you can see all the videos that I post. I try to post every day. Sometimes I can't get to it, but just about every day I'll post a video. And yeah, thanks again for subscribing and for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Lucia. This is my baby girl. Oh, this is my Lucia. Sleepy girl. There's my sleepy girl. There's my Lucia. Dolce. Okay, she's ready. She's ready for that chew toy now. Dolce. No, maybe not. She's ready to go to bed. Are you sleepy, girl? Pretty girl. Pretty girl. Dolce.